The Secretary General, Antonío Guterres, said money to aid Palestinians would run out next month, leaving hundreds of thousands without clean water, food, and other necessities. The head of the United Nations on Sunday implored the United States and other major donors to continue funding the UN agency that aids Palestinians, saying that without their support the agency would run out of money next month to help the 2 million Gazans who depend on it for food, water, and essential services. At least 8 countries, including the United States, have said they would suspend funding for the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees, or UNRWA, after a dozen of its employees were accused by Israel of participating in the October 7th attacks. Neither Israel nor the United Nations has made public the details of the accusations against the employees of UNRWA, which has said it was investigating. The UN Secretary General, Antonío Guterres, said on Sunday that 9 of the 12 accused employees had been fired, 1 had been confirmed dead, and that the identities of the remaining 2 were being clarified. Any UN employee involved in acts of terror will be held accountable, including through criminal prosecution, he said in a statement. Mr. Guterres said he was horrified by the accusations but urged the donor countries to maintain financial support for the agency. He said, UNRWA's current funding will not allow it to meet all requirements to support Gazans in February. While I understand their concerns, I was myself horrified by these accusations. I strongly appeal to the governments that have suspended their contributions to, at least, guarantee the continuity of UNRWA's operations, he said. The abhorrent alleged acts of these staff members must have consequences. But the tens of thousands of men and women who work for UNRWA, many in some of the most dangerous situations for humanitarian workers, should not be penalized. The dire needs of the desperate populations they serve must be met, he added. Israel's UN ambassador, Gilad Erdan, dismissed the Secretary General's statement and called on all donor countries to suspend their support for UNRWA pending a comprehensive investigation. The United States, which is the largest donor to the agency and has given it hundreds of millions of dollars in recent years, said on Friday that it would withhold funding for UNRWA. Britain, Germany, and at least 4 other countries followed suit on Saturday. The request from Mr. Guterres came after UNRWA's head, Philippe Lazzarini, said on Saturday that it was shocking to see a suspension of funds to his agency in response to accusations against a small group of staff. The agency has about 13,000 employees in Gaza, of which 3,000 continue to report to work, he said. Aid groups say that at least 167 aid workers have been killed in Gaza since October 7th, including many from UNRWA. Mr. Lazzarini also warned about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, saying that the clock is ticking towards a looming famine. Nearly 600,000 Palestinian residents of the territory are facing catastrophic hunger and starvation in Gaza, according to the World Food Programme, another UN agency. For decades, UNRWA has provided an array of social services for the people of Gaza, who have been under a long-standing Israeli blockade. The agency's role became critical once Israel began its campaign in October to defeat Hamas in Gaza. Since the war began, more than 80% of the enclave's population has been displaced and basic supplies of food, water, and medical services have been disrupted,